The concept of Transformers is incredibly simple but smart. A toy that can become another toy just inherently has value, and it's easy to see why Transformers has been a dominant force in the toy aisles for 40 years. But what about Transformers toys that don't transform? It's a bizarre idea, and there have been tons of Transformers toys over the years that don't actually transform. So in this video, we're going to investigate these strange toys, and see if Transformers that don't transform are worth the plastic they're made of. What's good, internet? Jake here, dumb as ever, and welcome to the third and maybe final entry of the Transformers that don't transform series. In this video, we're going to be discussing these strange toys that don't transform, and I'm going to be so honest, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel with this one. But I also think these weirder toys are going to make for an interesting video. So if you enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It'll help me against my arch nemesis algorithm. I'm starting off this list with some traditional Transformers toys that don't transform, specifically from the show Transformers Energon, which is easily one of the most maligned shows in the fandom, mostly for its terrible dub and the incredibly annoying human protagonist named Kicker. What's unique about Kicker though is he actually got a toy in the Transformers Energon line, which is incredibly interesting because humans don't usually get toys at all, or they end up as little statues. So an action figure of a human is incredibly unique. The articulation is okay. The toy is built like a traditional G.I. Joe, and he also comes with Highwire, who is usually a minicon, but this version is upscaled so Kicker can ride him. This is probably the only minicon to ever be upscaled like this, making this an extremely unique pack of toys. There was another version of the Kicker action figure from the Japanese version of Transformers Energon called Super Link. This version of Kicker is much more accurate and incredibly articulated, though apparently the toy is extremely fragile. Kicker wasn't the only non-transforming toy in Energon though. There was also a toy of one of the show's villains, Alpha Q, which is Energon's take on the Quintessons, and he was my first introduction to the concept. I thought he was super cool in the show, and the fact that there's a toy of him is kind of crazy to me. He doesn't really have much articulation due to his design. He can only really move his arms and spin around. He also has some goofy tentacles sprouting out of his base, and they have bendy wires, which is nice. His base has wheels, so you can roll him around, and when you do so, the tentacles wiggle around, which is so fun. He also has the classic Quintesson head switching gimmick, though his faces are really far back in the mouth of his armor, so they're kinda hard to see. I love the look of the armor though. It looks like a snake, and the mouth can close, hiding the face of Alpha Q. Transformers Energon gets a lot of hate, and to be fair, it's not the best show, but I think there were a lot of interesting ideas in the series and toy line. Bop It. We all know the toy, and we've all played it for a couple minutes at a friend's house. The first Bop It toy actually came out in 1996, the same year I was born. So me and Bop It are the same age. We're cool like that. This Optimus Prime Bop It has been haunting me for like a solid year. Every time I go to the store with a friend, they'll point it out as if I'm supposed to care about Bop It because it's Transformers themed. Well, don't I look like a fool sitting here owning it now? Also, while I was at the store to buy this thing, I noticed that there were these dancing non-transforming Transformers things. I'm sorry, but there was no way in hell I was going to buy one, so I decided to just try one out at the store. And it was so loud, like insanely loud and obnoxious. And I got so socially anxious that I had to walk away, but the toy kept making noise for like a solid 30 seconds. Holy hell, if you're a parent, do not buy this hellspawn of a toy. Anyway, back to the Bop It, which looks like Optimus Prime. He's kind of cute, but mostly boring and generic. He has 3 Bop It functions. His left chest window is a button, which is the Bop It. His arm moves up, which is apparently the Twist It, and his feet extend downwards, which is the Pull It. So now that we understand the gameplay, I guess we should try it out.
But yeah, let's try and Bop It.
Greetings. I am Optimus Prime. Bop It to start. High score 1. Bop It. Twist it. Bop it.
This.
Pull it. You made a great
Damn it!
mistake.
I was about to say the gameplay doesn't actually seem that hard, but
Bop It to start.
hold on. Let's get a second go.
High score 13.
13.
Twist it. Pull it. Twist it. Pull it. Twist it. Pull it. Twist it.
Bruh.
Pull it. Pull it. Twist it. Twist it. You made a great
Okay,
mistake. Score 33.
33, not bad. For $14, $15, this is a terrible purchase.
So yeah, it's a freaking Bop It. I don't know. I've never really liked this kind of toy, probably because I'm terrible at them. But I do think because it's so small, this version is extra boring. There's literally only 3 Bop It things. The Optimus Prime voice is decent at least, and I'll probably make some of my friends play it, but overall, I don't think this thing is worth the money. In the last Transformers That Don't Transform video, I touched on Blokees, a toy brand from China that had gotten the Transformers license, and was making some really cool model kit style toys in a variety of sizes. After that video, I was actually sponsored by Blokees a couple of times, which was really cool, and I got a bunch of free products. I think their best line is the one featuring the smallest figures, which are called Defender version. I love the chibi look, and they've greatly expanded the line since my last video. They've released 5 sets in total, and they also released a kit to form Devastator from the vehicle modes that were included in sets 1 to 3, which is really cool, and they've already started building up to a Bruticus combiner with sets 4 and 5. So without a doubt, the Defender line is my favorite line of Blokees, but they've also been expanding their Galaxy version line, which was their first line of blind box buildable figures. And I think these figures are also cool, they just don't appeal to me as much as the Defenders. But I do appreciate their choice of characters. Galaxy version has mostly been G1, but they've also slipped in some IDW designs, like Optimus, Tarn, and they even did an Autobot Megatron, which is really cool because there's not many toys of him. I would love an IDW getaway figure. There's also an alternate form of Galaxy version called Shining version. These figures are constructed just like Galaxy figures, but they also feature light-up torsos that make their eyes and chest glow. Blokees has also had their 5-inch line of model kit action figures called the Classic Class. I got a bunch of them from Blokees, and I think they're pretty cool for what they are. The Transformers 1 figures look great, and I especially love that they made a Megatronus Prime figure. That design is so freaking cool. I would love a proper transforming version of him, but for now this Classic Class will do just fine. And finally, Blokees has introduced higher end model kits called Action Editions. These kits are bigger and feature a ton of articulation, like even the fingers are articulated. These kits have gotten a bunch of praise, and deservedly so. I think Blokees are knocking it out of the park, and they're introducing another new line that only features vehicle modes. And a bunch of these vehicles are directly from the IDW universe, which is again cool as hell because we haven't gotten many of them as toys. Blokees is absolutely killing it, and we haven't even discussed how they've been collecting brands like Infinity Stones. They're actually sending me some of their Marvel 6-inch model kits in the mail. This video isn't sponsored, but I'm just letting y'all know. And they somehow made the only decent action figure of Superman from the new movie. Not to mention they just picked up the freaking Jurassic Park license. Please God, let Blokees get the Digimon license. I would buy so many Digimon toys from Blokees. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Blokees is killing it on the Transformers front. I can definitely see people getting sick of them, but I also think if they keep up the quality, they will have a strong core fan base for a long time. Moving from one second party toy line to another, we have Auldey, not the grocery store. This is another Chinese toy company producing blind box figures, and I incorrectly assumed they were also model kits. These action figures actually come fully built with amazing articulation. Their main blind box line is called Alpha Action Edition. This company seems to be mainly covering G1, as most of these companies like to do, but I will say these figures would be excellent for a Skybound shelf. I also like that one of the blind boxes in Series 1 is a 2-pack, featuring Cliffjumper and Kickback, 2 smaller characters, and they also come with Laserbeak to go with Soundwave, which is a lot of value for just one blind box. These figures feel like the good ending of the Transformers Red line, and I hope they branch out into other universes. Every couple of years, Hasbro comes up with some dumb gimmicky toy to slap all their brands on. A couple of years ago, it was Hydropods. The whole gimmick of this toy line is that you have have these little test tubes filled with water, and they have little heads inside as well as a target on top. If the target is knocked off of the hydropod, the tube's water will drain out. It's kind of a battling game, or it can also just be a target game, but mostly it's no game at all. And the play pattern consists of filling and draining a tube of water, with some boring target practice in between those two steps. There were some original and Marvel hydropods, but of course for this video we're taking a look at the Transformers ones, which come with the hydropod as well as little bodies for the hydropods to sit in, which is good because some of the sets don't even include bodies, just the floating heads, which is bizarre. Only 2 Transformers were made, Optimus and Megatron. Both look fine. I do like how Megatron's legs are little treads. He reminds me of that robot from the Buzz Lightyear cartoon. Also, when the target is knocked off and the water drains, it does look like the characters are peeing themselves, which is information I don't really know what to do with. This line predictably failed and was on heavy clearance for a few months before vanishing from toy aisles. It really makes me wonder how some of these ideas get all the way to the public. I question the same thing about terrible movies. I guess there's just some degree of delusion that exists when creating art, and it can either go good or bad, or in the case of hydropods, incredibly boring and soon to be forgotten. Battle Cubes is a weird little toy line with a lot of licenses. I will politely call Battle Cubes a stocking stuffer toy line, because I really believe there is nothing interesting about these things, and they're just something to fiddle with for 10 minutes, put in a drawer, and forget about. These cubes can open up, revealing the faces of Orion Pax and D16, which is horrifying by the way. I do like that they have little flaps with their arms and chests printed on them. They remind me of those Lunchables movie toys that could fold up. The main gimmick actually involves removing their faces, which is again horrifying. And there's a little dial inside where you can set the toy to rock, paper, or scissors. Once you select one, you reattach the face and close the cube up. When both cubes are ready, you magnetically attach them, and the cube that wins rock, paper, scissors will spring open and wrap around the other cube, basically devouring it. So yeah, it's rock, paper, scissors, whoop-de-freaking-do. I swear, rock, paper, scissors is like crack to toy and game developers. You always know you're in for a mild time when rock, paper, scissors is a core mechanic. I don't know, these suck. There's Transformers 1's versions, there's Transformers Rise of the Beast. I guess you can argue that they can technically transform, but I can hear you, la 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 la, I can hear you, la la la. Growing up, I knew Mr. Potato Head from Toy Story. I always thought he was a super funny character, and to be honest, I didn't realize he was a real toy for a long time. Mr. Potato Head is actually old as hell, with his first iteration being sold in 1952, and it was the first toy to ever get a commercial on TV. The original Mr. Potato Head deadass used a real potato for the head, which is so funny to me, though they eventually switched to his iconic look that I knew from Toy Story, because parents complained about the potatoes beginning to rot, which sounds like a reasonable complaint to me, but the reason we're talking about the Potato Man is because in 2007, the greatest collab of all time happened, Optimash Prime. This toy was made as a promotion for the live-action movie. It even featured the same iconic red logo used on the mainline toy packaging. The set featured Prime's helmet, a face mask, and a tiny version of Prime's chest. And he also had Optimus Prime arms and legs. I gotta say, it's a great look for Mr. Potato Head. And he even came with a little version of Prime's truck mode, which was a nice touch. Hasbro followed up this masterpiece with Bumble Spud, a Mr. Potato Head themed after Bumblebee, specifically the movie version. Again, the packaging reflected the Revenge of the Fallen toy line box design. Bumble Spud is pretty similar to Optimus, but he does have normal Mr. Potato Head arms instead of the special ones. Transformers Potato Heads would return in the Mixable Mashables Heroes line, which was a toy line that featured Potato Head crossing over with different brands like Marvel and Transformers. Kinda reminds me of something. These are smaller, simplified potato heads. They mainly have 3 parts, the potato, the body, and the helmet, so not as fun as normal potato heads. But there are a couple that do transform, kinda. 2 sets featuring Optimus and Starscream have vehicle mode pieces to go along with their robot mode pieces, so you can have a freaky Optimus Prime vehicle mode. I'm gonna count these as Transformers that do transform, but I'm talking about them in this video because when else are Potato Head Transformers going to come up? Oh, also there was a set that had Optimus and Grimlock, and Optimus could ride Grimlock because he had picked up that hobby recently. The line seemed very short-lived with only one wave of these figures coming out. Kinda reminds me of something. I truly believe Transformers Cyberverse is an underrated show. The early episodes are rough, yes, but the episodes are also only 10 minutes long. And once you get past the first few episodes, the show gets surprisingly good. It's really funny and features a lot of underrated characters. The toy line for the show, however, is a different story. While the previous show, Robots in Disguise 2015, did not have an amazing toy line, I would say the Warrior class was at least decent, with some notable hits like Bisque and Thunderhoof, but bad distribution plagued that line, and the aftermarket sucks now. Stuff is just way too expensive. But the Cyberverse line, on the other hand, just felt like Hasbro gave up. It really feels like they were trying to push the limit on what an acceptable kids Transformer was, and these were not acceptable, with the worst offenders being Cyberverse's Scout class line of Transformers, which yes, did transform, but only halfway, stopping in these bizarre half-robot, half-vehicle modes. What the actual hell, Hasbro? Even though these little monsters technically transform, no, they don't count as Transformers. You can't look me dead in the eye and tell me this is a real Transformer even though it stops halfway through. They also literally could not come up with a new idea for the Jet figures. Starscream, Slipstream, and Windblade all turn into the exact same Gerwalk mode. Like, we get it. It was this toy line that made me realize Hasbro had given up on their kid-focused market, so I just paid attention to the then new collector's line, War for Cybertron Siege, which Hasbro was obviously working a lot harder on. Maybe Siege is the reason that Cyberverse's toy line sucks so hard, who knows, but they did at least give the line better deluxe class figures towards the end, but man, those Scout class figures haunt me. Transformers that don't transform is a bizarre concept, but after 3 videos of talking about them, I've become endeared. They're strange objects, but I appreciate them, mostly. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. And if you'd like to support me past that, I have a YouTube membership and Patreon. For $1 a month, both give you the same thing. Access to my super chill members-only Discord server, as well as weekly exclusive videos called Toy Dives, where I talk about random toy lines like Metal Cardbot, a Korean Transformers-style toy line that features a ton of badass designs, and toys that feel like they're straight out of the Unicron trilogy. For that episode, I have a special guest, Nick on Planet Ripple, who you might know for the LEGO Rewind videos. Alright y'all, I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.